Hello everyone and welcome to the nature category of the 2020 Iris Professional Photography Awards. And that looked some impressive printer that Epson have just released. And I'm looking forward to having a try of one soon when it arrives. Okay, let's get straight into the nature category. So this category is sponsored by Epson. So Epson has been supporting the IRIS Awards and NZIPP for many years, including as a major sponsor of the IRIS Awards from 2005 to 2017. That's pretty impressive itself. And we're incredibly grateful to still have them as a sponsor. And this year they are sponsoring the nature category. Epson is a household name when it comes to printers and is renowned for its technological innovation and quality products, and none more so than with the recent release of the Epson SureColor SCP 900 series and 700 series. These have to be the perfect addition to any photographer's workspace. And we want to thank Epson immensely for backing us once again for the IRIS Awards 2020. So this is the nature category. What I'm going to do first is get all of the judges to provide you with a brief introduction of themselves. So if they can all unmute themselves, I'll go through and they can introduce themselves. So we'll start with David.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm David Glazebrook. I live in the Blue Mountains, just 90 minutes outside of Sydney. I'm a people photographer Monday to Friday, whether it's preschoolers like I was photographing today, or whether it's 100 birthday parties or weddings, etc. But landscape, astro, nature, including macro, is my thing, and I'm really honoured to be here. Thank you for having me along. I'm a master of the AIPP, past New South Wales Council and National Board member, and now happy to be entrenched here with NZIP doing all this. This is great. Thank you.
Thanks, David, and it's great to have you. We'll go to Jackie.
Hi, yeah, I'm Jackie Rankin. I live in Twizel, in the centre of the South Island of New Zealand, with Michael Langford, who's down there. I'm a Grand Master of New Zealand and Australia, the AIPP and NZIPP. I specialise in all sorts of photography. Mostly I love that creative bent, but I love to get that in-camera capture right, and that's what this nature category is all about. So all the best to you.
Thank you. Judy, we're going to come to you.
Hi, I live in Muriwai, which is a very windy Muriwai tonight, so I hope all my connections don't crash on you guys. I'm from the PSNZ family, and I'm a PSNZ accredited judge. I love the creative world as well, but I spend a lot of time in nature, taking nature photographs. So yeah, I like to cross both, have both my feet in each camp. So I'm looking forward to tonight, and it's a real honour to be judging with you guys.
Thanks, Judy. Selena.
Hi guys, so I'm from Brisbane, Australia, and an AIPP master photographer. I specialise mainly in documentary photography, but which is also another purist category like nature. My love for nature came from years ago, so I do love landscapes and animals. I scuba dive, just bought my first underwater housing, so I'm super excited about that, and I actually have an environmental science degree a lot of people don't know about. So yeah, so looking forward to this category. It's a passion of mine as well. So
awesome. Thank you, Selena. And let's go to Chris.
Hi everybody, so Chris Halliwell. I'm from Havelock North in the North Island. Primarily a nature photographer, although I do find myself photographing art recently as I work and own Edges Art and Framing. So that takes up a lot of my time recently.
And thank you, Chris. Joe.
Hi, I'm Jo Francis. I'm from Wellington. I'm a portrait photographer, mostly photographing families, and I'm a Master with Distinction of NZIPP, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all the photos in this category.
Wonderful, thank you. And Mike.
Yeah, I'm Mike Langford. Live with Jackie Rankin in Twizel. Also a Grand Master of both Australia and New Zealand Institutes of Professional Photography. My specialty is travel and landscape. landscape being inclusive of nature. Looking forward to this.
Thank you. Okay, is that all? Have I missed anyone? Have I got everyone there? Okay, so what we're going to do now is I just want to say a huge thank you to those working behind the scenes. The Honours Council is scattered across the country, right from down in Christchurch right through to Auckland. Harry's up in Auckland. He's been a key player in getting this all running, and unfortunately, COVID-19, like it's challenged a lot of us, has definitely challenged his ability to come down and join us here in Rotorua, where we've got one of our engine rooms and the others are scattered around 4 different places around the country. So without further ado, I'm going to read the nature category description, and then we will get straight into the judging. So the nature category is photographs that celebrate the beauty, wonder and diversity of nature through the authentic natural landscape and its wildlife. It includes photographs of the land, sky, cloud formations, weather features, flora, animals, aquatic life, marine or freshwater, birds, insects, and amphibians and reptiles. So it's not a traditional natural history category, but it does have some elements of that. Entries should reflect a diversity of subject matter and be truly representative of the natural world in a realistic, honest, and creative way. An image may include an indication of human existence. For example, it could be a fence line or a shipwreck, if this is relevant to the subject's environment, e.g. a harrier hawk on a fence post, but it must not include the human figure itself. Okay, so we're going to get straight into judging. So there are captions and titles for many of the entries in this category, and I will read those out. As we go through the live judging, we don't have numbers on the entries for the audience, unfortunately. But just bear with us. If you can hang around and keep your eyes open, I'm sure you will see something pretty amazing. So we're going to kick off. Let's have the first image, please. So this has a title called Flying Jump. Oh, it's going
through a slideshow.
Can we just have a blank screen, please? Michael? Can we stop? Close your eyes, judges. Sorry, guys, you can now watch. This is the run through. Okay, so that was my mistake earlier on. We are now ready to start the actual judging. So we're going to kick it off with image number 1, please. And the title of this is Flying Jump. Oh, sorry, hang on, judges, can I just, sorry. This day's been too long. Okay, what we're going to do, sorry, step back a little minute. The judges I want on the panel for this particular image is David Glazebrook, Jackie, Selena, Mike, and Chris. So you were first up on the panel. Can I get the rest of you to just remove your scores if you're not on the panel? And we will try again. So first image, please. Chris, just can you enter your score, please? And we have a score of 70. So this is just in the middle of professional standard.
Do you want to ask them to turn off the audio visual? The other two judges.
Can I get a comment? Who's happy to have a comment here from Mike Langford?
It's really well seen. It's a great color palette, but unfortunately the focus is in the wrong position. You sort of need to hone that skill a little bit more to bring it into an award standard.
Thank you very much. Can I have the next image, please?
So, okay, it's Chris here. Can I just ask a question, please? Is it a requirement in this section to have your subject identified with common or scientific name?
The title of this entry is called Elephant Walk. Yes, it is a requirement in the category. So the title of this image is Elephant Walk.
Scientific name.
No, there's no need for a scientific name as such. It's just defining what the subject is. The caption is one of the many faces of migrations in the Masai Mara. And I'm just going to ask Judy and Joe, not on the panel, can I just get you to turn your videos and audio off, please? And 1, 2, 3, one more score, Chris. And we have a score of 72. And who can we get a comment from this time? David.
Yeah, I scored at 76, so obviously slightly higher there. Just really enjoyed how the foreground, the texture in the foreground of the grasses is echoed by the texture of the skin on the elephants there. What may have taken me slightly higher would have been that the leading elephant is breaking the horizon there and either making him either very stronger in that horizon, in that sky, or containing him within the landmass.
Okay, thank you very much. Good information for the photographer there. And can we have the next image, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this image scores 73. And we'd like to have a comment from Mike. Selena, can I get a comment from you, please?
Yeah, look, this is, I enjoyed this image. I really like that the focus, I think the focus could have been improved a little bit more. Be able to shoot in on dark like that is actually quite clever underwater. I think what could have improved a little bit, probably a little bit wider of a shot, give us a little bit more space, put the animal sort of in more of more of its environment, give it a bit more room, would have helped.
Thank you. I see a few other judges nodding their heads there in agreement with you. Okay, I'm just going to, Michael, can I get a blank screen just for a moment, guys? We just need to fix up a technical issue we've got here. Nope. Right, we've fixed up that technical. Sorry, guys, we've fixed up our technical issue. Let's get back into it. Try again now. Yep, still do it now. Try again. Yep. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're ready for the next image, please.
Okay, do we have a title for this image?
So the title for this image is Kauri Tree, Pataroa Road, Titirangi. And there is no caption. Oh, sorry, yes there is. Pataroa Road, Kauri Tree. Photographed to support the Save Our Kauri Trust movement. Chris and Selena, are we ready with your scores?
Yeah, I put it in.
Yeah, I'll put mine in.
Yeah.
A little bit slow. It says it's saving.
No. Let me just turn this off, see if it makes a difference again. Same issue. Hopefully not. I think it must be maybe at night time over here. Everyone's using the internet. It could be a problem. Just can I just get you to just maybe press enter again? Just click on the cell and enter your score again and just press enter and see what happens again. There we go. Okay, and the scores are 65. David wants to... Do you want to challenge that, David?
No. Sorry,
You
I
just
was
want
putting
a
a hand up for
comment?
comment. Yes.
Okay, no problem. No challenges. Okay, we're just going to have a comment from David.
Yeah. We're drawn immediately, I believe, to the specular highlight that's on the leaf there, on the leaves, but there's a major one there, the one on the top of the stack. And perhaps either a slightly different angle would reduce that reflection and allow us to get into the colors of the tree, or perhaps polarizing it would help cut it. There's also a fairly bright highlight of a branch in the background, or a trunk there in the background, that if it was come down a bit, it would allow us to focus on the main subject.
Wonderful. Some good feedback there for the photographer. Okay, can we have the next image, please? And there is no title to this or a caption. Of course, photographers aren't required to have a title or caption. They may wish to let the entry speak for itself.
Sorry, I thought it was a requirement in nature to have a title.
No, it's not a requirement as such.
Okay.
It's an optional. It's an optional. And we have a 75 bronze award. Congratulations to the photographer.
There you go, bronze. Good.
Okay, can we have the next image, please?
You want to comment?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm really not with it, am I? Okay, can I have a comment from Mike? Do you want to give us a comment, please?
Yes, look, I will. It's done well enough to deserve a comment. The visual depth, the idea of the reflection and the surface movement, the graphics are really interesting. I find it quite enjoyable, and it's nice that it got an award.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please? Okay, so the title of this entry is called Northern Lights. The Northern Lights as seen from the wilderness hut high in the Rocky Mountains of British Columbia, Canada. Okay, we're having trouble again. Have you guys entered scores? Okay, we're having trouble with those coming through again. Can I just get you to go back and re-enter? I think the internet is definitely being well used tonight.
You can see mine K is saying it is saving K, like it's in the process, but obviously not. I've tried it twice. It doesn't seem to make any difference.
Can I get you to, this is going to be, how do I do this?
Can we read out the scores? No, it's not.
No, it's not. Okay, can I, okay, here they come. They've come through. I think it's just taking a long time, which is not good. Okay, we have a score of 64. And do You want to comment, David? Yep. Or you happy with that, Chris? That score? You?
Yep.
Okay, Chris. David, if you'd like to comment.
Yeah, I think some context as far as where the image is. You know, it is a picture, as I sort of said, of the Aurora Borealis there. There are a few technical issues happening within this in terms of, we can tell by the length of the exposure, the star shape is starting to distort. So either a shorter duration may give us either a sharper star, but mostly location would add to the narrative, add to the storytelling.
Thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? Okay, so there is no title or caption for this. Okay, the score's coming through, okay. And we have a score of 69. And I'm going to come to Jackie for a comment, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, I scored this just into the 70s, low 70s, and I think there is a photograph in there, but unfortunately the crop is really distracting, you know, with that long vertical box and the highlight down below. It could have been cropped right up to the top and really captured that decisive moment.
Thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? And we have a score of 74. Just outside the award range. And Selena, can I get a comment from you, please?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this image. I think some improvements to it could be that the animal itself, love to see it more detail in the animal, a bit brighter. The focus on the mountain on the left-hand side, would have loved to have seen it a little bit sharper, and the snow and the mountain range probably a little bit less blue.
Awesome, thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? So the title, the caption of this, there's no title, but the caption reads, "A young male wood duck perched atop the saline, decaying remnants of a punk myrtle tree." Okay, I'm assuming you guys have entered your scores, but they're still not coming through. They may take a little bit of time. And we're having trouble, definitely having trouble with the connections tonight. That's why. We need to turn off. We need to turn off something. Maybe turn off another. And we have a score of 73. And you challenging, David?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Okay, we will accept your challenge.
Thank you. Yeah, so David Glazebrook, 80. I've just nudged this into silver. I think this is a really good interpretation of both animal and its environment. They've given us a high key platform to deliver it on, giving us a really sort of artistic, fine art twist to this. There's some beautiful tones within the environment of the log that the duck stands on. The duck is pin sharp, and so in terms of a study, so both in terms of a study of not only the specimen but also its environment that it sits within. Yeah, I think this nudges silver. I'd certainly like to hear more, please.
Awesome. I'm going to go to Jackie at the other end of the scale.
Yeah, I scored it at 65. I was left wondering about why the high key so much, and that it really is distracting away from the bird that is just sitting. There's no real decisive action or doing thing happening up there. But I'm listening. The composition is really lovely balance. There's a nice balance to that. So I might have been a bit tough on that one.
And I'm going to go to Selena. Do you want to make a comment? You're actually up there with David.
Yeah, I'm actually up in silver range too. I really enjoyed this piece. I really enjoyed the serenity of it. I think that's what really appealed to me. But then, of course, the contrast between the serenity of the high key with the texture, I think that has come out in that piece of wood. So I thought it was very well seen. There's the balance between, you know, the duck pointing at one direction, but then the branch going the other way, and this really sweet sort of S-bend, and then the lovely touch of the water, which is really soft in the bottom. So I really enjoyed this, and I thought for a purist category that this, deserved a silver.
Awesome, thank you. Have we got any other judges that wanting to comment? Otherwise, we'll go back to David for right of reply.
Okay, just to address Jackie's issue in terms of questioning the high key nature there, Jackie, I think the high key nature has really given us the simplicity and distilled it down to the very essence of this duck. I mean, the wood duck is a very common species, and yet the photographer has given us a very simplified, very distilled down, very simple piece, but often the simple things are obviously the hardest to do. Selena has echoed that S-bend where the reflection sort of brings us through, so that's always quite seductive within a presentation, and also noting that how the duck points to the right, as does the main part, but it's got this little bit going off to the left. So as I say, I think it's a silver, just nudging into the silver category. So I'd encourage you to please consider my offering and perhaps review.
Awesome. Okay. Your score stays the same, David, but all the other judges can rescore, please. So enter your scores into the, yep. And we're coming through.
Okay, can I just ask, do I put my...
Yes, if you can re-enter yours, re-enter the same score. Yep, that'd be great.
Into the review score or into the final score?
Into the final score, thanks.
Okay, sure, done.
Awesome, well done. It has a silver award at 80. So well done on that conversation discussion. Okay, we're going to have the next image, please. And this has no title or caption. And just Chris, have we got a score from you? Perfect. Okay, so this image has scored 74. And we've got a challenge from Mike.
Yeah, I gave this 82. I actually found it quirky, and that's unusual for this particular category. to have a bit of humour in there. Cropping could be tighter, but just overall, I'm feeling personality. I'm feeling the environment, and I'm feeling a season. I actually like the down, and I also like the same treatment of the fruit at the top. It's very original, and I find that really interesting, as opposed to just another photograph of something. It's got personality.
Thank you. Can I go to David?
Yeah, hi. I was a bit below you there, Mike, at 68. And yeah, whilst I was struck by the humour of the image there, I think this looks like a chick that's been found within the blackberries or something of that nature there. And it has that sort of sense of humour or quirk, as you put it there, Mike. It's almost like this chick's ready to take you on because it's been found. I found that the handling of the whites within the down getting fairly muddy, and I was distracted by the nose that being so bright there. I obviously wanted to come back to that point, but perhaps at 68 I might have been a little hard.
Okay, does anyone else want to comment? We're happy with that. Okay, Mike, we're going to go back to you for final right of reply.
Yeah, it's a big ask to take it up to silver. I can see that, but at least consider giving an award. A bronze would be quite nice for the person, bit of reward and encouragement. I don't think it's quite as bad as you've scored it, David.
Awesome, guys. Can I get you to rescore? Mike, if you can re-enter your same score, and the rest of you can choose what you want to do with it following that discussion. And we've had some movement. It scores a bronze award at 77. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. And can we have the next image, please? So the title of this is called Lily Petal in Death. A dying lily petal in my garden curls towards me. And we have a score of 67. Reasonably close. David, are you making a comment there? Happy
Okay.
for that?
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you. I think there's two halves to this image. The left half to me is much more seductive in terms of its pastel tones, in terms of that dying petal and that little hint of purple that appears, or mauve that appears on it. The right hand side is much brighter, and very much in that top right corner there's a specular highlight there that I find quite distracting and taking us away from perhaps what might have been a little more soothing.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please? Okay, and we have a title is Bottlenose Dolphins Frolic. And there is no caption. I'm guessing you've put the scores in. Let's just wait for it to kick in. Okay, and we have an average of 71. And can I get a comment from Jackie?
Yeah, I pretty well scored at that in that range. partly because of the merging of the two dolphins against that background. There's a nice sense of where it is and a really lovely shutter speed and things like that. But there's just too much space and a merging of that horizon with those subjects on the horizon there. Yeah, just crop it in and you've got a winner.
Awesome, thank you. And can we have the next image, please? The title of this image is Wild Turkeys. The caption reads, "Meet the multi-generational, self-sustaining turkey family. These wild birds are thriving in rural Northland where we live. Check out that camo." And we have a score of 71. And I'm going to go to Jackie. You wanting to challenge, or you?
Yeah. I scored it more than that, and I'd like to see it as a bronze. Yeah, the part. Like, am I okay to keep going?
Yep, you keep going. You're going. You've got it.
Yeah. Look, I think the textures all through here are quite delightful and playful. There's a sense of the nature of the birds coming through the texture of the grasses, the foreground giving us a little vignette of looking into some sort of private space. All that possibly needed was a bit of a crop of the top that's a bit distracting, that takes away and takes us into that dark area. So, but if it had been cropped, I would have gone over silver. So I'm asking you to reconsider. Yes, there is a little bit of overlapping of some of those birds, but the gestures of the one in the front, I think, is strong enough, particularly to the left and the right, and the little ones poking their heads up in the background. So, yeah, have another look.
Awesome. And I'm going to come to David.
Jekyll and Hyde here, right? It's funny, Jackie, because you're talking about the separation of the birds potentially, but yet I see, for me, it's almost three images here, but the strongest image being that center, and almost playing with that overlap would have been a stronger image. I think the players to the left and players to the right are almost excessive to it, but more so that what really held my score back was I actually found the post-production of this image quite, shall I say, there's artifacting that's happening through the sharpening. I feel like it's been overdone and a little bit aggressive in that sharpening, and getting past that texture is feeling a bit over to me. But I'm certainly listening to my fellow judges there as to why I'll bump my score up.
Okay, Chris, you scored 70. You wanting to comment at all? You're sort of in that middle range.
Yeah, I suppose I actually like the composition of the birds in it. What really held me back was the actual, in the foreground, those grasses that are out of focus. Those white bits actually just draw my attention and eyes away from the actual subjects, as well as the distracting branches at the top. So that's what I suppose held me back from going any further into an award range.
Wonderful. Thank you. We're going to come back to you, Jackie. Right.
So, yeah, as it's sat here longer, I hope it's endeared itself to you, that those differences that you're talking about are what makes it special, so that the errors, we can't take out the errors in this category. Those spots need, they're there. They can't be spotted out, but I still think it's a kind of playfulness, and it's giving us a voyeur look into the private shadowed area that needed to be sharpened up in that way, just to give it the character of camouflage. And they certainly feel like they're camouflage and playing in that space. Yeah, for me, it had an emotive little catch that still got me into that bronze area in 78.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Now, judges, I'm going to get you to rescore, please. Jackie, if you can re-enter your score. And we have an award, a bronze award at 75. Congratulations. Good talking, good debate there. Okay, we're going to have a judge change. We're just going to have a very, very quick break. Mike's going to replay the sponsor advert while we do a judge swap. And I'm going to bring in Joe Francis and Selena, if you can just take a short break for us.
No worries.
And thank you to our sponsor, Epson. Thank you to our sponsor, Epson, for the wonderful support of the Iris Awards 2020. So we've just done a judge swap. We've brought Joe Francis on, and we are ready to go. So let's have the next image, please.
Is there a title, Kate?
There is, and I'm just... Okay, so the title of the image is Mollyhawk Dusky Sounds, and the caption is Mollyhawk between clouds and heaving sky at sunset. And one more score coming in. And we have a bronze award at 76. Congratulations. And we've got a challenge from Mike.
I gave this 84. I find it quite emotive and very visually powerful. Love the fact that you can't see the horizon. You've got this huge wave looming towards you. In the space that's left between that and the clouds and the rain is a bird that's perfectly in focus. It's well incredibly well captured, very well seen. You know, I just find it superior in its communication and imagination.
Thank you, Mike. I'm going to go to David for a comment here.
Yeah, Mike, I'm interested in the balance of this image. Like, it's pretty much divided into thirds, but I'm questioning what held me back from being within the award area there was just questioning the value of the blue that's right on the top of this image here. I appreciate there's a rain squall that's happening behind the bird here, and yes, that wave rising up, but the balance of the image and the bird being symmetrical to the frame, yet asymmetrical obviously in stance there. I was just trying to work my way through that, and obviously didn't quite get an award, but certainly take that on, please.
Thank you. And I'm going to come to Chris for a comment. He was sitting in the middle in that, just about on that range.
Yeah, I quite like the image. I like the soaringness of it. You know, you've got this albatross out in the middle of the ocean, soaring out there in the waves, and I just get a sense of sort of, you know, openness. And yeah, it's, I suppose I quite liked it, but that's where I scored it I think I scored it 77.
Awesome. Come back to you, Mike, for a right of reply.
Yeah, I think it's the emotional content of this. It's the loneliness, the smallness of the bird in this huge environment. I think that's the story that's been told with the framing. We do have an excess of location, but I think that's telling the bigger picture of where these birds live and what they do. And I just think the capture with that rainstorm in the background is quite superior in its ideas and its communication. So, you know, just have a think about just going up a few points. It's one of the ways that we differentiate between something that's just technically done well or bringing some sort of emotional response to it. And I think it's transcended that.
Awesome. Thank you. Judges, can I get you all to rescore? Mike, if you can enter yours the same score. And it's moved it a little bit, and it's gone to 79. So that means we're going to have an image review. So the question is, now you did have some support there, Mike, with you on that one. So the question is going to be, judges, if you can please either score 79 if you wish to keep it in the bronze range, or 80 if you wish to see it go to the silver. So that goes into your image review section.
Yep, no, it's okay. It's taking its time on this side of the ditch.
It's all right. It's coming through. It is coming through. And congratulations, we have a silver award. Well done, judges. Fantastic. I'm sure the photographer is jumping up and down at the moment. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Okay, the title of this image is Tilapia carcass, Salton Sea, California. The Salton Sea leaches salt, fertilizers and pesticides from the soil of the surrounding agricultural land, killing over 100 million fish. This carcass is laying on pulverized bones of other fish, also killed over time in this environmental disaster area.
Hey, could you just give us the species name again there, please?
I'm not sure if I've got the pronunciation right, but it's tilapia. Tilapia.
Okay.
And we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations. and all pretty consistent there
Yay.
around that score. Can I get a comment from Jackie? Would you like to make a comment?
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
be delighted to. Yeah, I scored this 83, and it's just I can feel the excitement of the photographer finding this on the beach, and then authentically and recording it in a way that communicates about those textures and its life and all the things around it. So, you know, a well found and executed photograph. Perhaps
awesome.
if it had been cropped just a little bit more, it might have gone a bit higher, just on the top left.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much for those comments. And can we have the next image, please? There is no title to this image. Netflix is obviously doing a roaring trade tonight. Okay, we're still having trouble here. Oh no, here we go. Okay, and we have a bronze award at 75. Well done. Congratulations. Clap for this photographer. Can I get a comment from Mike? Are you happy to comment on this one? You scored this 78.
Yeah, I think it's a very successful image. I love the action and the personality, a sense of environment. It's got most of the things that are necessary to communicate this, and well done.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? So this has no title, but the caption reads, "A playful dolphin seems pleased to see a tour boat in the Bay of Islands after perhaps missing a human audience during lockdown." Just waiting on your score. Yep, that's come through, and we have a score of 70. And I'm going to David. Would you like to comment?
Yeah, certainly. I think in order to raise the result here, it's about the point of view here. We're above the animal here, and so we're superior in our perspective, looking down and making the animal inferior. And I think in order to get a more intimate angle of this, it's about getting lower. And I realize sometimes that's leaning out of the boat and getting the camera just off the water, or even in the water, perhaps.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? And this one has no title or caption. Very slow. And we have a score of 71. And I'm going to come to David. Are you happy to comment on this image? Yep.
I'm challenging, if I
You're
may.
challenging.
Kay.
You can definitely challenge it. Yep.
Thank you, Kay. I've actually placed this at 78 in bronze here, and the reason that I've seen it as an award image is it's the construct of this image. So, okay, we have a very symmetrical. So look, the bird's almost got a sort of a split sort of lighting. So placed as a character, I'm seeing this as a character portrait. I'm loving the contrast of the black plumage that has been caught ever so well. When we look at those blacks have been faithfully reproduced there. We can feel the texture of that down right the way through the bird's chest, along with this beautiful splash of orangey red that comes out of its beak. And then we're given this really nice pastel-y soft sort of background that has some great contrast between the blues and the greens. The photographer has shown some restraint here also in this background as well, because on the right-hand side, whilst we've got that splash of white, which could be whatever it is there, it hasn't been sort of burnt down, you know, that much there. So I'm seeing this as a very high standard of professional practice, and hence why I feel that sits in that bronze category.
Wonderful. And can I go to Mike? You're sitting on
67.
Yeah.
I was disappointed, I guess, when I got on there, because the character is the eyes for me, and the eyes aren't sharp enough. It's just I keep looking at detail, hoping it's going to come into focus for me, but it doesn't do it. So let down. I like everything you've said about it, David, and I agree with everything you've said about it. But that's a crucial part for me.
Is anyone else wanting to comment on that one? Are you happy? Okay, David, I'll get you to take it. Final right of reply.
Okay, to address Mike's point there, as far as the focus there on that eye, yes, I feel that I feel it is just falling off there slightly on the eye, but with the eyes being on the side of this creature here, and it not being turned to us, I felt that the priority given to the throat and given to the breast of this bird allowed us to really enjoy those textures and appreciate those contrasts that the beak gave us there. If the focus had been more to the eye, I wonder whether we would have compromised that, whether we would have either had to open up our depth of field, and therefore our pastel background wouldn't be quite so soft. We wouldn't be enjoying that bokeh as much as we did. So I'm just only asking you to come up a few marks and reward the photographer here for the rendition and the, you know, our subject is so well identified, perhaps into a bronze. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. So it's currently sitting on a 71. I'll get you to all rescore. David, if you can enter your same score. Just waiting on the scores to come through, judges. Definitely taking their time. Trying to reconnect. It's definitely something happening with the internet tonight.
We can just enjoy this image a bit further then, can't we?
You can enjoy it more.
Reconnecting.
And we are, no.
Which is interesting, because we're not getting any delays or scrambling here in our judging, you know, in our communication.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
it's just the
yep, the spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet.
Maybe it's a Google issue.
It could be. Maybe it is.
You want to hand out some cards so we can hold them up?
Might need to do that very shortly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more.
I already want an Epson printer. You don't need to show me that out again, kind of business, you know. I mean, I've got one, but you know, you always want the latest model, and those blacks.
I know.
Fantastic, right? Okay, yeah.
I've actually booked one in. I've ordered one, so I can't wait to see it. It's I'll wait to get my hands on it. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Okay, just still waiting on one more image. Oh, so one more score to come through, and here we go. And we have score of 75. So it's bronze award. Well done.
Judges.
And can we have the next image, please?
Is there a title with this image, Kay?
Oh, sorry about that. Where are we going? It's called oh no, 20. No title.
No caption?
No caption.
Okay.
And we have a score of 80, silver award. Well done. And are we challenging?
Absolutely.
David.
Absolutely. Okay, so I've given this image 87. I think it sits very well within that category of 87. The high key rendition here that the photographer has offered us really appeals to the sereneness of the environment. It could almost be very misty, it's very minimalist. It's taken away all the information apart from the birds they really want us to look at, which is smack down the middle of the frame there. There's some nice blacks right there in the middle. Only a dash of them, perhaps one or two, and those little ones there's that guy that's airborne hanging out to the left-hand side there. But in terms of that calmness, it feels like I'm sitting here on a boat enjoying it through a mist. And that just to sort of experience that is just superb. So in terms of that excellent level of creativity and imagination, the visual communication that has been dealt to us here really appeals ever so strongly. Yeah, hence my 87.
Awesome. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to go to Chris for a comment on sitting on 70.
Yeah, I'm at the other end of the scale, and predominantly because none of the birds are sharp. I get that misty, airy feeling, and I can see they've probably used a longer shutter speed, but none of them are sharp. I would have liked to have seen some of them to being sharp.
And okay, I'm going to go to Joe. I'd like to hear a comment from you, if you wouldn't mind. You're close to David.
Yeah, and I think I've been a bit chicken actually. I don't think it matters that they're not pin sharp. I think it's just so peaceful, and it has so much sort of emotion to this picture. It's got such a stillness that it just makes you feel relaxed just to look at it. I think it's really beautiful. I'm going to come up.
Okay, is anyone else wanting to comment before we go back to David? We'll go back to you. Right, a reply.
Yes, can I? The way I justify the level of sharpness that we've got is that if indeed it was shot in a fog or a mist, then obviously trying to achieve that tack sharpness of the birds that are very small within this frame would be quite challenging within its own right, even if it is technically possible within that. And so I am really carried emotively on this print and find that transmission of that narrative that comes through in such strong waves has got me to that point. And therefore that perhaps that crispness that you might like in that would almost be counter to the mood or the narrative that I'm giving you. So please reconsider and perhaps come up some marks to reward this photographer.
Awesome, thank you. Right, judges, I'm going to get you to rescore. David, if you can just enter You're 87. You're not. There's a couple of others that are not too far away, so you do have some support there. And it now has a silver award at 83. So a little bit of movement. Probably not enough to bring it up into that distinction range, but well done. Congratulations to the photographer.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to have the next image, please. So this is called, the title of this image is called Juncus, Juncus. That's interesting. So has everyone entered their scores? Okay, I'm going to take a punt here. The scores haven't come through, but well, the individual scores haven't come through. So just for the audience benefit, when a challenge happens, a judge can challenge at any stage if they are 5 points or more away from the average, not the average score, the announced score. They can also challenge at any time if they have scored in the gold range. So that's how the challenge works. And we generally take with challenges, it is generally the judge who's scored the highest, and then we take opinions or from those that scored the other end of the spectrum, and then some that are sort of in around the middle. So we try and create, with a challenge process, we try and create a balanced, I guess, opinion from the different judges. And of course, as you know, with the different scores, they do all have different opinions all the time. And we're still waiting on our score.
Oh.
It's not me this time.
No.
Or me.
Okay, so we've got, let me just see, because we have got some scores in here. You can see the scores in the individual sheets. Okay, you're actually all very, very close together. So I'm going to accept the score here, which comes out at 73. And I'm going to go, can I just invite someone, no challenges there, because I think you're all very, very much in the same scoring range, within a few points of each other. So I'm just going to invite one of you to make a comment on that image. Jackie, are you happy to?
Sure. It's got a, pretty much that score. It appears to be maybe a lens baby or some sort of lens that's made everything else very much out of focus. It's a good idea to get separation, but in fact it's distracting as well. So perhaps some other, maybe a little bit bigger depth of field would have helped.
Awesome, thank you very much. I'm sure that's good feedback for the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? And the title of this is Guardian. Cheetah siblings in Kalagadi, Transfrontier Park with fresh springbok kill, one keeping a close eye on the circling jackals as the other feeds. The scores are coming through, but we're not getting the actual individual scores again.
Says there's a problem with my entry. I'm just trying to change it, but it's not letting me. Yeah.
Individual. Keep going, it's fine.
Okay, you're up.
No, nothing's coming through. For you, Mike. Let's go back to Mike again. No, nothing's coming through there.
It says it's a protected cell or object.
Oh boy. Let me just have a look. Michael, can I have a blank screen for a moment just while we maybe have a look at this? You can just put the, thank you. Oh, Mike, you need to actually, okay. Mike, you need to actually move your mouse cursor to the next cell to the left and then try entering your score. Okay, have you entered that? Have you pressed enter?
Yep.
So we have a score of 74. And do we have...
Do you want to comment?
I'm happy to have a comment from you, yes.
Okay. Beautiful palette there that's dominated by those reds, that really warm palette. Shot, you know, in that day. But the caption that was given to us was about perhaps was it the hyenas, the jackals that were maybe going to try and contest for the feed. And I think the comment or the image may have reflected the comment better, or vice versa. And also just a little bit of a crop, maybe 10% off that top, that little sand dune or whatever that's out the back that's peeking into it is also a little bit of a distraction.
Wonderful feedback for the photographer. Okay, can we have the next image, please? So the title of this, there's no title, but the caption reads, Mookaite stone from the Kennedy Ranges of Western Australia. Okay, can I go back? Can we go through each individual one so we can actually look at them? Yep. No, Chris, it's Chris. Okay, and we have a score of 74. And can I go to, I'm going to go to Joe. You scored 78, just for a comment for the photographer. You enjoyed this image?
Yeah, it's a very pleasing abstract. It just doesn't quite have enough to sort of really pop it out there, I think.
Thank you. Okay, and we're going to go to the next image, please.
Is there a title, Kay, or a caption?
Okay, sorry, my apologies. The caption reads, "A New Zealand sea lion in need of a nap." Okay, and we have an average, a score of 73. And we're going to have a challenge from Jackie.
Yeah, I scored this into the silver range at 83. I found it amusing, and I think it's a sea lion in need of a dentist, really. Its top teeth are rotted away. But it's a beautiful, if you look at the graphics of it, that pinky red color is really authentic. It's great. And this sea lion covered in sand, it's funny, you know, and I can see it as being a great decisive moment, and more than a big yawn. I'm up on 83, and I'm asking you to reconsider that everything's really sharp. It's beautifully captured, and it's got emotion and humour.
Awesome, thank you. Now I'm going to go to David.
G'day. Yeah, Jackie, I appreciate the need for the dentist and the humour that's here. And I scored this right in the middle of professional standard. I felt that, yes, those colours that you refer to, I think are a little undershot for my liking, a little underexposed. I feel like that texture, that sand there was so much opportunity to be had here in terms of that texture, and in terms of that pink to be really, the mouth to be a whole lot more seductive, as much as the mouth of this animal could possibly be, you know, dentistry required. And so, yeah, trying to sort of get that narrative, or that I guess that contrast and that richness of tone, yeah, it was a little lacking for my liking at the moment.
Okay, Joe, I'm going to come to you. Oh, Mike, are you happy to have a comment? Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to support this. The more I'm looking at it, the more I'm thinking it's something original, and I think that's the point. It's not the details about the tone and our colours. I think I've never really been given an image that lets me look at the detail on the mouth like this. The graphics totally make us look into the mouth. The exposure is perfect for what they want us to look at. And so, for my mind, the photographer has actually given us a photograph that tells us a story that's original. And I think that's worth an award.
Okay, have we got any other judges that wanting to comment, or otherwise we'll go back to Jackie for right of reply?
You're right. So I think it's, like Mike said, original. The texture of the sand needed to be secondary, I believe, and not be overpowering the photograph, so that you do look into this mouth. The amount of mouth and the shape of that mouth is perfectly balanced. It's a great piece of seeing, and well seen. And the little different sizes of all the whiskers. You know, it's fantastic. So yeah, definitely a silver, an 83.
Awesome. Okay, judges, can I get you to rescore? Jackie, you hold your score into the same score, and judges all rescore, please. And we have a 79. Okay, so we all know what that means. It's a bronze award for a start. Congratulate the photographer. Okay, so we're going to do an image review. So that means if you can, in your review columns, can you please enter either 79 to keep it at a bronze award or 80 to bring it into the silver award range. And it stays at a bronze award, but that's nothing to sneeze at. And congratulations to the photographer, a bronze award. And we'll have the next image, please. Okay, just give me a couple of seconds. Okay, the title of this is Welcome Swallow. So a welcome swallow yawns as it stretches one of its wings mid-preen. This image was part of an entire series of images I captured to document the life cycle of the welcome swallow. We have a score of 79, which is a bronze award. Well done. And we've got Mike is going to challenge that.
I gave this 87. I actually find this quite exceptional, mostly because of, I guess, the frontalness of it. It's in your face, it's loud, it's on the edge of frame. Ordinarily, I'd say edge of frame is a bit of a conflict, but I find it in this instance, the tension that makes the whole image work. It's added the tension to what's happening. I find it really exciting to look at. It's not passive.
Okay, I'm going to go down to Chris. You're on 70.
Yeah, I sort of see that tension, and that's sort of what I suppose draws me away. I think for me, it's the tight cropping and the fact that that outstretched wing is missing. I think a bit more room around the sort of towards the, I suppose, the right-hand side of that image would have helped it a lot in my mind.
Okay, and we've got David's wanting to make a comment here.
Yeah, thanks, Kay. It's interesting here that, I'm with Mike here because I was in the silver range here at 83, and I'm probably going to come up a few marks here. It's interesting that the comment sort of says that it was the swallow that was stretching, whereas I find the behaviour actually much more almost aggressive in that sort of sense. The gesture that's coming from this bird, the claw, that how it sort of sits on here, sort of gives us a much more tension within this image. Great study of the plumage right up against that eye, that tack sharpness that we love in our nature photography, but the palette that has been held within here because the lichens that reflect the nature of the bird. And I think if we came back a bit further here, Chris, that wing tip's not going to be sort of seen here. So bringing it in tight allows us to really focus in on the emotive nature of the bird.
Wonderful. Anyone else wanting to comment? We go back to Mike, write a reply.
Yeah, just in summary, because I actually think that the out of focus nature of the wing on the left-hand side, because it's out of focus, means your attention doesn't stay with it. Instead, it follows the line of the wing into the focus area. So it's actually doing us a favor by being slightly out of focus and then coming into focus. So if we think of it as lines and shapes, everything that's happening on there is making us look at the point of tension, and that's what's here. It's a very exciting moment that's been frozen in time, and I think that's deliberate and well done.
Fantastic. Okay, judges, can I get you to rescore, please? Mike, if you hold your score, we enter the same score. And we have a silver award at 83. Congratulations. Good comments. Good talking, good debate. Okay. Can we have the next image, please? We have a title here. The title here is called Keeping Watch. With no place to hide on the plains of the Masai Mara, this female cheetah is on constant watch to protect her cubs. Okay, and we have a score of 72. And I'm going to call on, David, are you having to make a comment here?
I'm happy to make a comment. And what I'm thinking, well, what I'm thinking here is that the caption that we've been given talks about no place to hide on the plane here. And yet I feel the crop is really quite tight here. It doesn't allow us to experience that plane, and the cheetah on the left-hand side of frame is cropped slightly as well. So if we had, I feel like a little bit more room would have allowed us to experience what the photographer is trying to convey to us.
Wonderful, cool. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little break. We're going to have a 5-minute break. I want you all to go and stretch your legs. We are going to go for a do a run through of the all of the entries in the nature category, and then another little look at our lovely Epson printer that's not long been released. And then we're going to come back and have a judge swap, and we're going to bring in Judy Stokes. And Chris, you can take a little bit longer break. Okay, here we go. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you guys all hear me?
Yes.
King K.
Yes.
Are we all on board? Can you all hear me?
Ready to go.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
no, perfect. Okay, awesome. So on the panel now, we've got Judy, Mike, Joe, Jackie, and David. I hope we're all going all right still.
Hello.
Okay, can we have the next image, please? So this image has no title or caption. Still isn't caught up. We need to write this down there. Hang on, I need to write David. Can I go back? I'm just writing the names down. Okay, judges, we have a score of 70. And I'm going to go to Joe just for a comment, if you wouldn't mind.
You guys hear me better now?
Sorry?
Can you hear me better with these on or not?
Not overly, but carry on.
Oh, I'll try to speak closer to the microphone because I've had a couple of comments that people can't hear me. I thought this was really interesting and unique, but I feel like we needed to see a little bit more of whatever it is to give us more of the story.
Awesome, thank you very much. Okay, and we'll have the next image, please. So guys, just be aware we are still having technical issues with the internet and scores coming through. So we have a title of this image is Desert Flower, and the caption reads, a tidal mudflat on the edge of the King Sound in the Western Kimberley region briefly reveals its delicate fractal patterning before the massive flow of the tide returns. This area has the highest tidal range of anywhere in Australia, reaching heights of well over 11 metres. Okay, right. We have a score of 83, silver award. But I think we're going to have a challenge. David, go for it.
So this abstraction from this point of view that's given to us without hearing the caption here offers a beautiful sort of almost watercolor-like palette that the angle gives us all these little fine bronchioles that sort of reach out, and we get this connection back to the caption as far as the whole sort of tidal flow. There's a beautiful mood that's sort of naturally vignetted by this top sort of color that happens around the top and forces us back into these bronchial that little rivulets that happen right there. This is just, you look at it, it's so sharp yet it's so soft at the same time. So in terms of contrast in presentation, I think this really lifts us into that next level up. So yeah, please have a look and let's have a chat.
David, what did you give it?
I gave it, sorry, Mike, I gave it 88.
Thank you.
Jackie, I'm going to come to you.
So I gave this 65 in professional practice right there, partly because of the composition that for me was so unstructured. I'm trying to sort of get my eye around it, and I think, you know, one subject, one bronchial in that corner would have been much stronger than showing me the whole lot, and it kind of started to fall apart for me. You know, yes, I enjoy those color tones and the, you know, the sharpness and the idea, but I just thought, you know, photography is a lot about composition and telling a story, a clear story, and the story, sort of, I was let down with that. Yeah, I'm listening. I obviously scored a bit low compared to my other colleagues, and so let me know why.
I'm going to come to maybe, thank you, Jackie. I'm going to come to someone in the middle. Mike, I'm going to come to you in the middle. You're a little bit in the middle. First off.
Look, I gave it 78, which is a strong bronze, but I do think I'm going to come up, mainly because of the color palette. That's what's unusual about it. We do see a lot of these aerials looking straight down on this type of nature. So I don't see it as exciting and totally original, but I do see the color palette as being original. And I think I'm going to go silver because of that element.
Judy, would you like to comment? You're actually up there with David.
Yeah, I was 88 as well. I love its smudgy sort of painterliness. I didn't mind its composition, Jackie. I thought it was quite, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the composition. I thought it was solid and balanced. But I just really loved some of those smudgy, painty bits that almost looked like watercolor paints running. And I thought it was, you know, something giving us a different view of something. So, yeah, I was with 88.
Awesome. Dave, we're going to come back to you with right reply.
Thank you. Interesting that we talk about the composition here, you know, and how it appeals to some and not to others. I find that my eye actually runs around the cream midsection here, and it comes around, and then we're pulled back down into that bottom area because it's darkness and it's contrast. And as I mentioned before, that outer top sort of area is a vignette which is created by nature in these various levels. And we get pulled down into this root structure, or as I mentioned, the bronchioles that sort of happen here. And that contrast is, to me, the snaking nature of those bronchial sort of patterns is quite enticing, and almost a bit sort of X-ray sort of type of a root structure even perhaps as well. Hence why I am so seduced at 88, and please maybe give it a few more marks and come up and join me.
Awesome. Judges, can I get you to rescore? And we are getting there, and we have a score of 85, silver award, silver distinction, sorry. So congratulations, that is a really good comment, and a little bit of encouragement from your other judges. So well done, silver with distinction. Can we have the next image, please? So the title of this image is Spider's Web Strand, Early Morning Light. Okay, and we have a score of 78, which is a bronze award. Well done. Yep, clap hands for this image. So, Judy, are you happy to make a comment on this image? Just a comment, Judy, just for the photographer?
Yeah, sure. I scored it highly. I thought it was a very beautiful image. I loved I think the emphasis was on the light more than the spider's web strand. I loved the unusual crop and shape. I thought that.
Okay, we are having some technical issues. David, I might come to you instead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get Judy's, initially about the light here, but we're talking about the strand of spider's web, and I think in this, a hint of the spider, perhaps, even if it was a leg of a spider, the prey left over would have just been that additional element. I think this is a wonderful stage, but let's just have another element to really get that performance really rolling.
Awesome, cool. Can we have the next image, please? And we have a score of 74. And we all happy with that? Awesome, cool. Mike, can I get a comment from you for the photographer?
Yeah, there's quite a few distracting elements which didn't need to be there. The actual photograph of the bird itself is beautiful, and they should have focused a little bit more on there, would have made it stronger and more successful.
Wonderful, thank you. Can we have the next image, please? The title of this image is Lily Petal with Water Droplet. Caption reads, a small water droplet rests on a lily petal. And we have a score of 68. And I'm going to invite Jackie, would you? Oh, no, David's happy to make a comment.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the simplicity of this image, but what I felt, it was really light and airy in the top half and needed to be reflected of that in that bottom half to just continue that mood through the image there. So perhaps that may have, lifted it some.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And we have the next image, please. Connections are going well. We're speeding a little bit along because it's going quite well. It's working again. Okay, so the title of this image is Wing Detail, and the caption was also Wing Detail. It's a bit too soon. And we have a bronze award at 75, but we are going to have a challenge. Well done. Jackie.
Yeah, I scored this 86 into the silver distinction area. Partly because I can't see any faults in here. And what I've been presented with is a detail that is aesthetically pleasing, and it's got some beautiful little characters of all these separate feathers together. Zooming in, I'm really rewarded with some lovely sharpness, and the areas that are out of focus are beautifully out of focus. The transition to black and white and interpretation in that way is appropriate, and I think it would make a superb print on silver distinction.
Okay, Judy, I'm going to come to you. Oh, you're on 66, so the other end of the scale.
Yeah. I enjoyed the detail in the middle of the image. I battled a little bit with the composition. I found it quite static, and I also found my eye was a little bit drawn up to that top left-hand corner. Even though those wings are out of focus there, I found just a little bit of brightness just draws my eyes away. So yeah, I didn't put this as high as you, Jackie.
Okay. Anyone else wanting to comment? We will go back to Jackie for right of reply, please.
Okay, you know, everybody's interpretation of composition is quite personal, but I think that the feathers on the top left-hand corner are part of one of those little hooks and keys that bring you into the photograph again, because it's those little differences that make all these same feathers so unique and interesting to look at. I've enjoyed it, and that's why I scored it 86.
Okay, judges, can I get you to rescore? Jackie, if you re-enter the same score, the judges can rescore based on the comments that have been made. Jackie, can I get you to re-enter your score? You may have already, but...
Yeah, I did. Something's come up a little, F35. Again. No, maybe that's right.
Yep, that's cool. And it's 77. Solid bronze award. Well done.
Okay.
And it's come up a little bit. So next image, please. So the title of this image is Ruru Silent Hunter. The elusive moorpork, or Ruru, prepares for an evening of hunting as the last of the sun's rays penetrate the bush. Wow, this has scored a gold at 90. Fantastic. Got to celebrate this, the first gold of the category. Are we happy with that?
We can challenge and take it higher.
You can, if you are in the gold range, you can challenge at any time.
Yeah, look, I think this is superior.
You're challenging, Mike?
I'm challenging, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
Even though I only gave it 93, I'm going to try and get everyone to think about the number 95, because I think it's a bit more realistic to what we're looking at, which is a very unique photograph. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. The lighting's absolutely superb, and the use of color, I think that's what's really attracting my eye, that blue background that's taking your eye off into the future, into the nighttime, and then this beautiful yellow of the eye. It's absolutely superb. I can't fault it.
Okay, I'm going to come to Jackie now.
Well, I was on a lower 83, and what was keeping me there, I guess, were those dark tones around the back of the bird and towards its feet, and I wasn't sure that the bright spot in the background was resolved itself, but that it was sort of too bright. And I guess, you know, where has the light come from to light the eye of this bird so brightly? It doesn't feel to be in a natural environment, but perhaps somewhere else. And so the story of it being in a forest, I couldn't quite get that. But you know, I'm listening to this gold now, so let's have a go.
Okay, so David, you wanting to have a comment here?
Yeah, Jackie, I'll share with you how I justified that the lightness there, and this last light that comes through is these owls or these birds are renowned for how much light they capture. And you look at how much light is hitting this bird's face and how dilated the pupil of the bird is, sucking all that last light in here. And yet it is on the verge of darkness here. So where these would naturally hunt at this sort of time of day that's about to start its evening hunt. You know, so in terms of that yellow around that pupil, the iris there, I think that's a really nice color contrast or temperature contrast that happens against the blue that happens in the top left here. So when I look at all these design elements here, I'm really thankful that Mike actually challenged on this, because the more it sits here, the more I'm enamored with this image.
Wonderful. Mike, I'm going to come back to you for right of reply.
Okay. Jackie's concern about the lack of detail on the blacks, I think there's enough, because if there was more, your eye wouldn't be structured to take that lead to the eye of the bird. I'm seeing the claw. That's enough. I'm being directed to look at this picture, and I think it's the skill of the photographer that's doing that. So, you know, all power to them.
All power.
Wonderful. Okay, Mike, your score is locked in at 93. All of the other judges are welcome to change their scores. And we have a very, very solid gold award at 93. Well done. Those extra points may make a difference when it comes to possibly a final selection. So after all that excitement, I'm sure that photographer is celebrating at home. Let's move on to the next image. And this title of this image is called Elephant Dusting. And we have a score of 71. And I'd like to come to Judy just for a comment for the photographer, please.
I loved the texture of the dust all around the elephant. What I did battle with was the very amount of space in the top of the image. I wondered if a crop might have added to the image.
Wonderful, thank you. Can we have the next image, please? And there's no title or caption for this image. And we have a score of 73. And David, you're wanting to challenge? Yep, go for it. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, yeah, that's why I was waving around, you know. Yeah, anyway, demented windmill. I beg your pardon.
Miming. Yep.
Yes, yeah, that's not my bag. But anyway, no, I placed this in at 78 as a bronze award. I saw some techniques here that I think what we're actually looking at here is the reflection of a tree on the surface of perhaps an ice sheet or something like that. So I'm loving how the ice structure is mimicking that of the tree that it is reflecting. So I'm seeing a certain level of complexity and structure and storytelling that the photographer has given us here. The beautiful warmth that we experience at the very top of those branches, I'm thinking this is the first light is hitting this, and that's why we're getting this ice perhaps on this puddle, contrasted nicely in temperature against the blues of the sky that happen behind there. And then just a little bit of density that happens within the trunks and the branches of the tree gives us enough to hold it together. I'm thinking I'd like you to consider a bronze.
Awesome, thank you. And I'm going to go to Jackie.
Yes, I'm on 65 again, and I just found I was really let down with the focus. Why couldn't it have been focused on the ice and allow us then to have a depth of field to see the reflection and talk about and give me that communication that you're getting? I don't get maybe it's not a reflection, perhaps it's through a window or something that's got ice on it as well, but I like the idea, but I just didn't think it resolved enough. Technically, it was let down, but it's still in its professional practice range, and I'm listening, but I don't think I'm getting there.
Okay, anyone else wanting to comment? Otherwise, we will go back to David.
Okay, Jackie, I feel that the ice, the focus has been upon the ice, but perhaps the ice is low in contrast, and therefore we're not getting that sort of, that real contrast sort of separation there that you might sort of get in terms of if it really had something to lock onto. It plays to that certain level of whimsy and that sort of mood that there's nothing that's completely, really the actual image that we're looking at of this tree is obviously well out of focus here, but it gives it that dreamlike state, plays to that palette. I'm asking you just to maybe consider it as a bronze, not or that level of creativity and vision.
Awesome. Judges, can I get you to rescore? David, if you can just enter the same score. And it's achieved what you wanted. It is a bronze award at 75. Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? So the title of this image is called Fernbird Matata. The elusive fernbird camouflaged in its favourite hunting ground amongst the dense swamp reeds. This one is eating a beetle it just caught. And we have a score of 71. And I'm going to come to Mike. What did you enjoy about this image? You scored it 74.
Yeah, I like the fact that they've isolated the bird that's, as they say, it's got great camouflage. However, I am confused by everything else that's in there as well that competes with the bird. So especially a dark area on the top right, I keep looking up to see what it is because for some reason I find it interesting, and when I get there it's not. So that's what happens with photographs.
Awesome, thank you very much. And we'll have the next image, please.
Any caption, Kay? Yeah.
This one has no caption or no title.
Huh.
We have a score of 77, which is a bronze award, and we are going to have a challenge from Jackie.
Yeah, so I give it an 83. I thought the no caption allowed me to take it into the Antarctic or to take it to some other place into the snow or somewhere where my imagination would go, and it did. It went down those little holes, and I think the composition was very cleverly crafted and cropped. Technically, it's lovely and sharp, and the blue tones are really authentic, and I got a sense of realness here that captured me, and I went into silver for that.
Wonderful. Can I get Mike here at the other end on 64?
Yeah, I just found that the large areas of white that have got no tone, I found them distracting. And also the graphics I just didn't find strong enough.
David, you wanting to comment?
Yeah, I was at 77, so strong bronze there. I found it as an image of two tails here in terms of the top third, which retains some of that snow texture, yet the bottom 2/3 it doesn't. I actually would have preferred the bottom 2/3 of the image just to be that way, and I would have been up there with you, Jackie, in terms of its very minimalist, daub-like painting sort of structure that it has there. But if you can sort of, twist my arm a little bit, perhaps I'll come up and join you.
Okay, back to you, Jackie.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a comment here about global warming, because that part in the middle is been melted, and that's why it hasn't got any texture. It's melted and it's becoming plastic. And aren't we alien about plastic? And this is a nature section, so perhaps there's a comment that I can get and take away, and that transition from we have got ice at the top and then all of a sudden it becomes plasticky looking. Can get me, and I think it could be a really well used image in many ways. Those
Wonderful.
spaces, yeah, great.
Thank you, Jackie. Can I get you judges to rescore? Jackie, if you can just enter your same score. And we have a silver award at 80. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. And we will have the next image, please. And we have a title for this. It is called Mother and Her Calf. There is no caption. And we have a silver award at 83. Nice solid silver there. And we are going to have a challenge from David. And you're not alone.
Good, because neither of these whales are even out there in the deep blue, hey? So what I really was so seductive about this image is the way the image reads. We come across from this left to right on the arc across the mum here. And the capture has been caught so well that it gives us a real sense of stillness, and yet that read that we come across, and we come across the calf that is tucked right under the mum's pectoral fin right there, and then all those tones right across, those whites across the underside of the calf there are held so faithfully. There's really nice texture that happens right under that baling pattern that happens under the breast of the calf, and yet we come across the mum's nose continuing across that arc here. So when we sort of look at this as a structure and a presentation, the photographers also given us a very subtle blue tones to appeal to the environment that happens through here without sort of being garish and saturated. And so I feel a real high art sort of interpretation that we're brought to here. Yeah, please, fellow judges, come up and join me.
What did you give it, David?
Oh, sorry, Mike, 88.
Thank you.
I'm going to come to Joe. If you'd like to make a comment, you're at 78.
Yeah, I can see all the things you're saying. I guess I just got really caught by the tightness of the crop. It just feels quite constricted. I just wish they had a bit more space around them. Sort of, there's a bit of tension in the framing there for me.
And either Judy, are you wanting to say anything, or are you happy to?
Yeah, no, I'd like to say something. Joe, at first I also battled with that tightness of crop, especially on the right-hand side. But then after a while, I really thought that it's almost emphasized the intimacy between the two whales and kept us looking back towards them. So, yeah, I'm up with David.
Wonderful. Thank you. David, I'm going to come back to you for a right of reply. So, Judy, you scored 88 as well.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for reading my mind, Judy. I did write tight equals intimate embrace. Exactly where I was at in terms of that maternal instinct where she holds a baby nice and tight, keeps it nice and close. That is how I interpret that, and that's how I feel that is a real warmth within this image, as opposed to an image that is blue tone. So there's a real warmth in the embrace here. Spectacularly well caught. Technically, you know, you look at the whale, look at the separation that the photographer has given us here. So technically excellent, highly emotive. For me, it sits right in silver distinction, a real solid silver distinction. Please come on up.
Okay, judges rescore. And we have a solid silver distinction at 86. Congratulations to the photographer. Well done on that one. And good comments there. Okay, we are going to have the next image, please. And one more coming, Joe. And we have a score of 80, silver award. Congratulations. Can we have a comment from Jackie? You found this
Okay.
interesting?
Yeah. I just thought the level of difficulty here must be pretty high, and there's a sense of humor, a lovely color balance and tones. Yeah, well done to the photographer. Perhaps to make it into another scoring range, maybe they've just got a little bit to the left and had all the background green, maybe. Anyway, great.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And we're going to go to the next image, please.
Any title, please?
Oh, so my apologies. We have humpback whale calf tail. Humpback whale calf tail and mother. Tonga is the birthing and mating ground for a population of humpback whales. The newly born calf's soft skin is cut and scratched while feeding from its mother, who is covered in barnacles. And we have a score of 80. Silver award. Congratulations. And we do have a challenge from Jackie.
Yes, I scored at 88 into silver distinction. The beautiful level of sharpness and detail on that tail really captures my imagination and sense of love of textures and shape, and there's a storytelling element in here. So, I went up there because of that, the technical skill in getting all that, and then the creativity and cropping it in this way and presenting it in such a good manner.
Thank you. And I'm going to go to David, sitting on 65.
I don't know, we've swapped scores here, Jackie. I'm at 65 this time. I'm feeling that I was conflicted. Initially, when the image came up, I really appreciated the textures that was within this whale tail. I'm thinking that they were about, when they age, they get all this texture. And then the comment came along that it was a baby. And so therefore I was at odds with, oh, why so much texture? And they gave us an explanation. And then the other question that popped up in my head was, why the color of this whale tail? It feels like it's selective color. Now, if there's a technique that that why it's not selective, I don't want to necessarily assume that, but that's the feel that I'm going, and it just is the technique at odds with what it's trying to convey. So if you've got some answers for me, then please.
Okay. Judy, I'm going to come to you. You're just sort of sitting close to that silver range.
I really enjoyed the originality of the image, but I did question the processing a little bit. Also, I would have been higher. Also, I questioned the fact that the title drew our attention to the mother, the barnacled mother. But there is something just about the processing that for me doesn't sit very comfortably.
Okay, and we're going back to Jackie to write a reply.
Okay. I think the tonal range of yes, it could be selective color, but this is not your photograph, David, and this is an author who perhaps really likes that and found that it was a really powerful way for them to communicate their love of this tale, whether it be a baby or grown up. I don't mind because I'm looking at an image that I'm still captivated by, and it's the shape and the sharpness on it that could be, you know, it's been deliberately brought out. That I thought it was like a chalice. You know, it's more than just what it is. You know, this abstract part of this amazing creature under the ocean. And you know, I was prepared to go there and celebrate it at 88. And you know, it's up to the rest of you to see how it feels now that it's been up here a little bit longer, and that sharpness has resolved itself on the image you're seeing.
Well, thank you. Judges, please for a score. And it's gone to 84. Solid silver award. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. Okay, we're going to do a quick judge change. Jackie, we're going to swap you out and Selena, we're going to bring back Selena. The rest of the judges all doing okay there, hanging in there? If anyone needs a break, just let me know. Welcome back, Selena.
Hey.
And we're going to have the next image, please. Title of this is called Buffalo in the Snow. Wild roaming buffalo heard in a Yellowstone park is the caption. Wild roaming buffalo herd in Yellowstone Park. And we have a score of 71. And I'm going to come to David. Are you wanting
make a comment there, Kay?
Yeah.
The two buffalo on the right-hand side, I don't think are needed. There's a great study of this buffalo on the left-hand side. There's so much detail that can be just praised here in that side. So if we almost take that out and give us the study of that, I think less would have been a whole lot more in this image.
Yep, and some of those judges are actually nodding in agreement with you there. Wonderful. Can I have the next image, please? And there is a title called Sharp Flowered Rush. No caption. And we have a score of 72. And I'm going to get a quick comment from Joe. Would you like happy to jump in there? And you quite enjoyed this image?
I really enjoyed this image. It's got a real lovely subtle beauty to it. It just probably needed an extra element or something to bring it into the award level, but keep working on this. There's something really gorgeous going on with the different levels of focus and the palette.
Thank you. Next image, please. There is no title or caption for this entry. And we have a bronze award at 76. Solid bronze there. Well done to the author or photographer, I should say. And Mike, are you happy to make a comment on this?
Yeah, look, I think it would have been stronger had just a bit of colour fringing happening in the background that's just a bit distracting. I actually really think that what they've achieved is beautiful. I think the bird is amazing, but there's just a little bit going on in that sky that shouldn't be going on.
Thank you. That's wonderful feedback for the photographer. And can we have the next image, please? The title of this image is New Zealand Fantail. And there is no, a New Zealand fantail in flight is the caption. And we have a score of 84. Solid silver award. Congratulations to the photographer. And pretty close scoring there as well. Can I get a comment from Judy? You really loved this image.
Yeah, I did. I loved the actual pose of the fantail. I thought that was beautifully caught with him like that, and his eyes just staring straight at you. I also enjoy the way he was framed. Whether there's too much space in the image or not, I'm not sure, but yeah, I think it's got a lot of merit to it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please? This is called Loving Embrace. No caption, just the title.
One moment, Kay.
Yep. Jackie, can I get you to jump back in and judge's entry, please? And we have a score of 78. Bronze award, solid bronze award. Jackie.
Yeah, well, I scored at 83, and that's 5 points that's worth fighting for. And it's not about fighting this lovely embrace. We can see the play happening here, and three subjects coming together in a sandwich almost. What takes me is the texture and light that's hitting the youngster in the middle. The tight crop works well. The vertical nature of it works well, of sort of coming up and swimming around. And yeah, I thought it was worth a silver. That's on 83.
Thank you. And we're going to go to Mike, who's on 73.
Yeah, I found that the crop wasn't quite right for me. In fact, the fact that the fins of the bottom whale, if you crop those out, it's a much stronger image, because the white of those two fins really take the eye away from the subject, which is beautiful. I love what's happening on the top part of the image, but I find the bottom quite distracting.
Okay, has anyone else got a comment? If not, we'll go back to Jackie.
Well, if that's just a little bit of darkening, that would have done the trick. And but that vertical without the structure or the fins being there, it doesn't help with the vertical nature of the composition that is coming up. And you know, they do go up for air, and it moves my eye around the frame. The focal plane, all of it's sharp where it needs to be sharp, and that sort of soft, darkish, a bit of a tone of blue is suitable. So yeah, I was on that superior range up there in silver distinction. No, I'd love to, but no, I'm on 83, and I'm asking you to join me in those 80s, because I think it's got an emotive part to it that really helps.
Wonderful, thanks, Jackie. Can I get you to rescore judges? It's currently sitting on 78. Jackie, can I get you to enter your score again? You just coming
Sorry.
through. No, it's coming through, and it's scored 80. Silver award. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer.
Okay, so is Serena coming
Yeah,
back?
if you can just hop out again for Selena to come back in.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie. Can we have the next image, please? So there is no title or caption for this image. So what happens sometimes when a judge wants to jump out of judging an entry? It might be that they have some sort of bias towards the image and they feel it's not fair for them to judge it. So they do invite another judge to step in and score. It also might be that they may know, have seen the image or know the image quite well, so feel, again, they don't feel that they can do it justice to scoring. And we have a score of 74. And we will accept that score. And I'm going to get Judy, you enjoyed this image. Would you like to just make a comment for the photographer?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the changes of depth of field. I think that the fact that
we've just lost
a small part of the image is in focus, draw attention to that.
Okay, so we
Are you there?
did lose you a little bit there, Judy. Do you want to just maybe just very quickly just repeat what you just said? Hopefully it comes through.
Just the narrow depth of field, I think actually draws our attention to the part of the image that the author wants us to notice, which I enjoy. And I also enjoy the crop, the portrait crop. I think it's very effective.
Awesome, thank you very much. Can we have the next image, please? So the title of this image is called Desert Echo. Camels are by far the largest creatures in the vast Australian desert, able to not only just survive but thrive in the often brutal environmental conditions. Over 1 million non-native wild camels travel huge distances across the landscape, evidence here with the impact of their tracks. And we have a score of 81. Silver award. And are we happy with that? Looks like it. Can we get a comment from Judy?
Yeah, I should have actually challenged this, but I didn't. I love the title, The Desert Echo. I thought it's really appropriate for the echoing in colours. I thought the composition, although symmetrical, very effective, and I think the textures running through this image were fabulous. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. And we had 3 judges that were in that silver range and really enjoyed that image. Can we have the next image, please? And the title of this image is Endangered Red-Crowned Crane, a mating dance always unexpected, from calm behaviour to sudden bounce, leaping into the air and running wildly with outstretched wings to attract a mate. And we have a score, a bronze award at 78. And congratulations to the photographer. Mike, would you like to comment on that? You really enjoyed that image.
I did. I think it's a very clean, good capture, good moment, beautifully framed. Well done.
Awesome, thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? So the title of this is called Death's Angel. The caption reads, "A large male lion walks through the open plains of the central Kalahari." And we have a score of 81, silver award. And we're going to have a challenge from Selena, who's not happy with just a silver.
No way. No, I definitely think that this deserves at least a silver distinction. The craft and mastery in capturing something like this and getting detail throughout is just beautiful. I think it's been very well not only captured but processed so that there's separation between the lion and in that beautiful patch of sunlight and the background, but then also like even just the sun rays to come through the clouds and to have all that detail still in the cloud. And yeah, I think it's been beautifully seen. I think it's been beautifully captured and well processed, and I really think it deserves more than a silver. So I'm on 88 and I'd love to see everyone come up and join me.
Okay, I'm going to go to Judy, who's on 76.
Yeah, I really battled. I felt the lion got a little bit lost in the detailing of the cloud. I thought the cloud was the main hero of the image, and I lost the lion a little bit. I'm not sure whether the right moment, if the author had perhaps just waited a little bit till the lion had moved forward into that patch of light. I don't know. For me, there was just something not quite into the silver distinction part.
Okay, can I go to David for a comment?
Yeah, I scored this at 83 silver there, and I felt the commentary was actually between the cloud being, as Judy points out there, so big, so grand, but it's grand in the sky, and the lion's king here on the ground in this environment, even though it's so small. So there's this juxtaposition, this talk that's sort of happening there. I do feel your concerns about that separation and where that line sits. But the way I justify that, it was almost sitting in that third of the frame, coming in and walking that left to right. So there's, I'm a bit betwixt and between at the moment.
Mike, you're wanting to have a comment, yep?
Yeah, I am. Look, I'm definitely going up to silver with distinction, because the more I look at this, the more I feel the vastness of this image, and the small lion emphasizes that. You're seduced by the cloud, and then you find the lion and you go, wow, what an environment for this animal to roam in. And I think it's the fact that the longer you look at it, the more you recognize the power of that lion and the environment. There's nothing else there. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely silver distinction. Thanks, Selena.
Selena, I'll come back to you.
Yeah, I think Mike's pretty much summed up everything that I love about it. Like we look at this, we see images, nature images of close-ups of lions all the time, and this is a pullback of where they live and what they love. And I think the fact that it is so vast, and that cloud it draws you into the image to look at it, and then it takes you down through those sun rays to where we want to be. And then all of a sudden you find this little tiny nugget in the middle of the landscape, and it's one of the kings of the jungle. So I think, that whole take on this scene, and just, pulling back. I think, the photographer has thought to pull back and actually take this whole scene in its stride and share that with us. And I definitely think it's worth a silver distinction.
Okay, judges rescore, please. It's currently sitting on 81. Selena is looking for that silver distinction. Are we going to get it? And we're easily going to get it. It's a silver distinction of 86. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. And can we have the next image, please? And the title of this image is called Crossroads. And we have a score of 83, silver award. Well done. And I'm going to go to Judy for a comment. You enjoyed this image.
I did. I enjoyed its really solid texture. I enjoyed the little bits of white that are really popping out. And I felt the crossroads could also hark to the crossroads that man's getting to at the moment, with the, contradiction but here between the man-made road and the nature. So yeah, I did enjoy it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And we're going to just do a little judge swap. Joe, I'm going to swap you for Jackie. If you want to say thank you very much. And we're going to bring Jackie Rankin back in.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
I am. Great.
Okay, can we have the next image, please? And we have a title here. It's called Eastern Rosella Feeding Young. And there is no caption. We have a silver award at 80.
Great.
Are we all happy with that? Yes, we are. Come on, guys, celebrate. Yay. Hey, I'm going to, Judy, you happy to give a comment to the photographer again?
Yes, I really like the interaction between the mother and the baby, and especially the fact that the baby's eyes are just closed. I think that's a really special nugget of the image, and I enjoyed that part. I do wonder if there needed to be a little bit more, the baby's wing. You can't see a lot of what's going under there, but yeah, I did enjoy the image as a whole.
Thank you. That's great. And can I have the next image, please? Camouflaging Cuttlefish Juvenile is the title of the image. There is no caption. And we have a bronze award at 78. And we're going to have a challenge from Jackie.
Yeah, I scored it in the silver range at 84 because I can feel some beautiful sort of character in this fish. For me, she's not a juvenile. She's an old lady, and she's dressed in her best cardigan and surrounded by all her lovely fabric and sitting on a couch and looking back at us and me. And her little eyes, it's where it's sharp. It's not sharp all over her body, and I don't think it needs to be. But where it is sharp. There has not been any overworking on this image. Perhaps if it had been selectively sharpened a little bit more, it would have popped out at you. But then that's not her nature, because she's getting older. She's sitting in the wallows here. 84.
Okay, can I go to David, who's sitting on 72?
What I struggled here with Jackie was the critical sharpness here. Like, we go to the eye, but I feel like the nose that happens between these eyes is that far out of focus. I'm almost like going cross-eyed trying to resolve this image here, And in terms of but your stories of, you know, the old lady here in a cardigan, you know, I love my nana, and I'd have trouble sort of, you know, barracking against her kind of thing, you know. So perhaps if there's some more input here, I might come on up a little bit.
Wonderful. Anyone else?
Come on, Mike. Come on, have a say.
Do you want to comment, Mike? Come on.
Yeah, look, I think it's a beautifully constructed image, beautifully seen. Personally, I'd like to see a little bit more contrast, a bit more pop, but that would take it even higher than what Jackie's asking for. So I'm happy to go silver.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie, right of reply.
Okay, yeah, so it is so close, it's on the cusp, and I think that's all it required was a little bit of a pop, and she just needed to have a gin and tonic that night, and she would have been had a flush of colour for you, David. She's there. She's an 84, and I'm asking you to come up with me, but it's up to you, you know. It's
Awesome. Thanks, Jackie. Can we have judges rescore, please? And we've managed to get to 82, so well done for that one. And I'm sure she'll have a drink.
Yeah, for gin and tonics.
Yep.
So later.
Yep. Okay, can we have the next image, please? Let's talk about cuttlefish. So the caption for this one is, the title, sorry, is Keraru, New Zealand wood pigeon, and the caption reads, Keraru, New Zealand wood pigeon. Hemiphaga, now you're going to really challenge me here. Nova Zealandae, May 2020, Omaha, Auckland, New Zealand. Nova Zealandae, probably is how it's pronounced. And we have a 72, all very, very similar scores, there's judges. But I'm going to go to Mike for a comment.
Yeah, I feel there's too much going on. I feel it's too busy. I'd like to see a little bit more concentration on the berry in the mouth. I'm not quite sure what the subject is, just in terms of we've got as much berry as what we have bird, and the flax is on the right hand side. It's just distracting. So it's a really nice image, but to be an award, it needs to be a little bit tighter.
Thank you. And can we have the next image, please? And the title of, the caption reads Family Ties. No title, just a caption. And we have a score of 74. Are we happy with that? Okay. Judy, you enjoy the image. What would you like to say for give a comment to the photographer?
I really like its unusual circular framing. I think it works beautifully just to hold the family in. And I like the tonings of the baboons. I especially like the tuft on the mother baboons, a tuft of hair sitting up. But I think it's been well handled, and I love the composition of it. And I think it's a great image.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And we'll have the next image, please. And we have a caption which reads, chick fallen from nest and caught in branches of lemon tree below. And we have a score of 78, a solid bronze. And we're going to have a challenge from Jackie.
I scored at 83. It's a real tragedy, this photograph. But I've never seen a little chick caught in a branch like that before. Perhaps the vignette is a little bit overdone, and I'm allowing for that. But what I just get taken away with the little bag in their belly that reflects all the colours and tones around this chick, all the food that the mother's been giving it, and I just thought it told a really tragic story that was well crafted and deserving of a silver.
Okay, and I'm going to go to Mike sitting on 70.
I'm definitely going to come up. I sort of felt I wanted to look at the chick, even though it's tragic. I wanted to focus on it a bit more. I found the large environment a bit distracting, but definitely going up.
Anyone else? Everyone else have to go back to... Oh, Selena, you're wanting to comment.
Yeah, look, I'm with Jackie on this one. I'm actually in silver as well. And I'm there because of the same sort of reasons. I guess the reason I didn't go higher with it was because of the vignetting as well. I think, like we are on 78, and like this is an image I guess we don't see a lot of. We see a lot of images of live animals, but I think at the same time, this is actually nature in its honesty. There's the life and death in nature, and this is the death part, and it's sad and it's tragic. And yet it's been beautifully captured in terms of the sharpness and stuff through the bird, and also too to be able to see it and look for it, something like that, and then actually think to capture it. I'd probably just rescue the bird from the tree, even though it's probably dead. But yeah, I think it's worthy of a silver, so I might go a bit higher.
Thank you. Jackie, back to you.
Yeah. So I'm on 83, and it's the selective focus that makes it stand out from that chaotic background. But without that chaos, I probably wouldn't have get that sense of tragedy as much. So I'm asking you to consider that.
Okay, judges rescore, please. And solid silver at 83. Well done. Congratulations to the photographer. Yep, we can celebrate. Come on, guys. I'm sure there's photographers out there enjoying that and celebrating. Okay, can we have the next image, please? And there is a title, a caption, a gannet chick hoping for a feed. A gannet chick hoping for a feed. And we have a 74, and pretty much not too much in between all of you judges. And David, you happy to comment?
Yes, Kay. I think I think we could have almost lost half the yellow of the mum's head, and the droppings here in the bottom, almost taken to a square crop, would have really given us just the essence of that interaction. Yeah, so less again would have been more.
Fantastic. Good feedback for the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? And the title is called Dangerous Games. After seeing this lioness coming towards a waterfall with her 7 cubs, I slipped out of my vehicle and lay under it, hoping she would drink from the other side. I got lucky. And we have a silver award at 81. Congratulations. Are we happy with that?
Challenge that.
Yeah, challenge. Jodie, you're on 88.
Yeah, I really would like this image to come up a little bit. I think the color tones are amazing. I think what a real little nugget for me is the lioness's tongue really pulling that bit of water up. I think that's a fantastic part of the image. I love the close crop of everything. And just seeing the one little cub tucked in underneath the lioness and the tail there, I think it's a beautifully caught image. I didn't really need to know how the author got it, but that's how they got it. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful image, and I encourage you guys to come up.
David, I'm going to come to you. I'm 73.
Yeah, so I scored at the high end of professional practice here. The danger in it probably was the 7 cubs as opposed to the rest of it kind of thing. I'm thinking, geez, mum's got a load there, but it's the crop on the left that disturbs me in terms of getting that half cub body there, and I'm trying to feel the rest of it. It feels like the light has sort of shifted just off center to mum's right, and I'm not sure whether that's just part of that post-production that's sort of taking me that way. Like there's 3 cubs here on the left are a bit out of that, and that's why I was just that imbalance was sort of just left me just out of award range.
Okay, and do we want to have a comment from either Selena? Are you happy to comment? Do we?
Yep, yeah, I'm happy to comment. Yeah, look, I'm in silver range at 82, and I am quite happy there. I think I agreed that I didn't think we really needed to know how the photo was taken. Sometimes just leaving that a mystery for judges is a good thing to do. I guess I was really struggling with the right-hand side and the fact that the tail was sticking out there, and then it was so tightly cropped on the left, but not as tightly cropped on the right. A bit more room on the left would have helped me, I think, too. So I'm listening, but I'm pretty happy with my silver at the moment.
Awesome. And we're going to go back to Judy.
Yeah, I see where you're going with the cropping issues on both sides. I think the eyes of the lioness and the detail in her ears are really enough to draw your focus in. Well, they certainly draw my focus in so much that I'm prepared to lift it. So yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, judges, can you rescore? Judy, if you can re-enter the same score, and everybody else can change if they so wish. I'm going to melt down again there. Here we go. And it stays at 81, silver award. Congratulations to the photographer. And we go to the next image, please. And this has no title or no caption. And we have a silver award at 80. Well done. Congratulations. And David, you really enjoyed this image. Can I get you to make a comment, please?
Yeah, certainly, Kay. I almost saw it as an homage to like 70s Tupperware, those colorings and those sort of divided up as if it was a cheese platter. I'm about to put all my sort of segments and my olives and my little sort of thing on there, and then we've got this little house that sort of sits right in the middle, which is obviously the detail. The one little thing that I would draw the attention to of the photographer now that we've scored it is the telegraph pole on the left-hand side that is just clipping on the edge and the shadow there. Maybe just cropping that out would have made it just a little neater.
Thank you. And we will have the next image, please. So there is no title or caption for this image. And we have a score of 80. However, we have 10 fingers up for a challenge. David.
There's a 10-point difference here, Kay. What I'm sort of seeing and what my rest of my fellow judges are seeing here. What a beautiful character portrait of this bird. The tilt, the gesture, the softness of the light. You're led to the eye. There's little white feathers that hang underneath the eye. And I know we would like to come right to the eye, but this is faithfully recreated. That we're drawn into the eye, and the softness that just gets us there. It's just so delicate. The lighting matches the softness of this portrait. This is a real character portrait. This is getting in close and tight on a bird's face as opposed to the human face here. The splash of color that hangs down the nose is being taken down so we can go back and just enjoy the character of this bird. There is real humanity coming out of this animal, and I just feel it pouring out, and I couldn't help but put it into the gold range.
Selena, you know I'm going to come to you.
Oh, of course I knew you were going to come to me. Look, I'm sitting on 70 with this, and maybe I've been a little bit harsh, but I guess, David, everything you like about it is everything I don't. And that's the beauty of judging, isn't it? I guess for me, I really want to explore that eye, and I keep being pulled. I'm conflicted. I keep being pulled away from it to the top of the head and then down the beak, and I feel like there's, you know, a little slight pull out to get a bit more of the end of the beak would have done it a bit better. But yeah, I'm listening, but I'm really conflicted because I'm conflicted away from where I feel I'm drawn to look, and I want to look, but I'm not going there.
I'm going to get one more comment from Judy, who's a little bit up there with you there, David.
Yeah, I agree with David. I think it's a highly emotive image, actually. I think the bird really draws us in and invites us for an emotional response. I love the fact that everything apart from his eye and some of the feather detail is not in focus. I think it makes the image stronger. So I am with David, and I'm happy to go higher than what I voted.
Awesome. Jackie, you wanting to comment?
Yeah, just a sort of question for David, but it's what's reflected in the eye that's not taking me to gold or even into silver. I'm just sitting on the edge of silver because there's a whole world in there, and we're deliberately taken into the eye, but it seems to be like a forest or a bush or something like that. I thought these birds lived on the ocean and they had a different story. But you might be able to tell me about that.
Thank you, David. Right of reply.
So yeah, you're right, Jackie. They do live on the ocean. Very rarely do they come to land, and I guess this was the opportunity that the photographer had to take this character portrait of this bird. Yes, there is a whole other world in the eye, and I think that's that catch light or that reflection that Selena, it should take you to the eye, you know, and bring you to that point, because you've got that catch light, and those feathers that just hang just around that eye, sort of in that little radial that hangs around the eye, is the only thing that's really sharp. You look at the eye, the little feather that's underneath it, and even on the top of the brow there. And so it comes in, and so, and just I'm still in love with this gesture. The bird leans to the left, which leans to the darkness, which plays homage to the pose. He's not sitting there all happy and dandy. The lighting's not happy and dandy. It all sits together, gels together so nicely. So, you know, where are we at? We're at silver. Can we at least sort of, you know, perhaps look at coming up to silver distinction? Because, you know, hopefully my emotion is enough to help you get across the line.
Okay, judges, can I get you to rescore? Thank you, David. Really, really passionate comments there. If you can enter the same score. Where are we coming with the... Where are we coming? Didn't quite get there, but it's a silver distinction at 87. Really, really solid. Well done. Some great comments. You did have someone else with you up there too. So that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to the photographer. Can we have the next image, please? Is everyone, you guys all doing okay? Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Oh, good. That's exciting. We hope our audience out there is enjoying it as much too. Some really good feedback coming through from everyone. Okay, so the title of this is called Water Droplets on a Ginkgo Leaf. There is no caption. And we have a score of 74. And can we have a comment from Judy, please?
Yeah, I really enjoy this abstract nature of the image. I love the textual background to it, especially just above the leaf. And I really enjoy all the detail that you see through the droplets. I think it's a really pleasant image. And yeah.
Thank you. And we'll have the next image, please. And the title of this image is called Patience. A heavy rainstorm hits while a harrier hawk feeds. The long hands and knees crawl with multiple pauses was well worth it. The long hands and knees crawl with multiple pauses was well worth it. And we have a score of 78. Mike is going to challenge that. He's on 86.
It's the viewpoint that I really like. The fact that we are at the same height as the bird, looking at it in the eye and vice versa. The out of focus foreground forces the eye past the foreground to the background, and the length of the exposure is exactly as the eye would see it. I just find all those elements giving me this wonderful view of a bird that's incredibly difficult to capture. And I think it's just so well done, so clean, so simple, beautiful.
Okay, and we're going to come to David.
Yeah, no, I popped it in here right in the middle of professional practice here, Mike, or professional standard. I felt that the foreground was overweighted in terms of how much we're sort of seeing of that blur, and the caption that was offered to us was about this bird feeding. And I appreciate being at that level, but I see no evidence of feeding, as opposed to a portrait of the animal. And just whether talk to me about the contrast and the density of the image, and whether that sits, how that sits, because I'm feel it's a little bit underdone.
And we might go to Selena. Have you got any comments, or are you happy for?
Yeah, I'm happy to comment on it. I agree with David's comments. And I agree that, again, it's, do we really need to know how it was captured? I think sometimes that mystery is really good. I do really enjoy, and I was just sitting here looking at it, the fact that they've got a really nice break in the rain where, there's no raindrop across the eyes or across the face, or across the feathers that are really obvious. And I think that really frames the face. So I'm sitting at 78 and I'll probably come up. I guess the one thing that kept me from going higher was the black spot at the top left-hand corner. And I felt that, that could have been pulled in and cropped in a little bit from the left to just give it a little bit more of a nice framing and focus a bit more on the face of the bird.
Thank you. And we're going to go back to David. Going to go back to Mike for his writer reply.
Yeah, look, I totally agree that the caption to it is very misleading, but the caption is it's an aid. It's actually not the picture. And if we look at what the picture does offer, it gives us an incredible close viewpoint, eyeballing, if you like, a bird in the environment. As Selena's pointed out, the capture totally avoiding mergers of raindrops is quite beautiful. Tonally, it's not over the top. It's subtle. It's quiet, but it lets the power of the bird come through. I think you're a bit hard.
Okay, can we all score again, please, judges? Mike, you just hold your score at 86.
Yep.
And we've a silver award at 82. Congratulations, well done. Good conversation there, good comments and good feedback for the photographer. I think one of the things that we always challenge, where there's an option to actually provide the judges with a caption or title, it's really important that reflects what tells the story rather than necessarily detracting from it. So let's go to the next image, please. And we have a title, Clownfish in Purple Anemone. And there's no caption. And we have a silver award at 80. Congratulations. And we are going to accept that score. Mike, have you got a comment for the photographer?
Yeah, it's all about the colour, the contrast of the elements, the placement on the third, the depth of focus, all the elements are correct for the subject.
Thank you. And we'll go to the next image, please. And the title of this image is Silver Eye, Tahoe, Zosterops lateralis. And the caption reads, Silver Eye, Tahoe, Zosterops lateralis, also known as the wax eye, June 2020, Mount Eden, Auckland, New Zealand. And we have a score of 70. So right in the middle of that professional practice, professional standard. And I'm going to call on Selena. Are you happy to make a comment on this?
Yeah, I think for me, I would have loved it to be a little bit tighter cropped. There is some issues with the focus. It doesn't feel quite sharp as I would like to be, especially that top bird, which was really the aggressor in this situation. The white in the background, I think, is distracting. So yeah, I think it's stuff like this definitely got potential. I think it just needs a bit more practice. So yeah, beautiful image though.
Awesome, thank you very much. And can we have the next image, please? And the caption reads, thousands of wildebeest die each year from attacks by crocodiles as they cross the Mara River. The most vulnerable position is on the edge of the herd, Serengeti National Park. And we have a solid silver at 84. So I'm going to let's call on David just for a comment, please.
Yeah, no, I was boots in on this. I was at 88 here. I appreciate the balance. Well, the caption here works so well in terms of the focus goes, and it talks about the vulnerability here and the sense of motion. I'm not sure about the amount of the blurred wildebeest there, whether we needed quite as many as that, but it would have only been about a quarter off that, but all praise to you.
Wonderful, good comments. And can we have the next image, please? title of this image is Glasswing Butterflies Feeding. There is no caption. And we have a bronze award at 75. And Selena's wanting to challenge that. Selena, you're at 82.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 82 on this one. I really enjoyed this image and the fact that, you know, this photographer captured this moment in time where they're both feeding at the same time and they're both pointing towards each other, and it's almost a mirror, but it's not. The sharpness of the left butterfly did bother me, and that's why I didn't go higher than 82. And I think if that had have been sharp and beautifully placed as well as the other side, I think, you know, like it would have been a gold for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed just the shapes of them too, and the fact that they're just mirroring each other. They almost look like a husband and wife butterfly.
Awesome, thank you. I'm going to go to Judy. You're not so sure about the image.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the colors of the image. I battled more than Selena did with the butterfly on the left. I found the fact that it wasn't in focus a bigger issue for me. And I think the very narrow depth of field just disturbed me quite a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Jackie, you're on 70, 80. Do you want to make a comment?
Yeah, I'm a little bit torn because I'm on that borderline, and I'm really liking that the texture, the processing that's been made to make them look like stained glass windows. That's kind of it, you know. So I enjoy their interaction. I'm feeling like I might come up.
Selena, we'll take it back to you.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like beautiful little stained glass windows, and that's, I think, what I really enjoyed about it. And like I said, I would have gone higher if that other butterfly hadn't have been as out of focus as it is. One thing that I guess I do remember that, like, think about when I see butterflies is often when they sit and feed, they kind of do flutter their wings. And so, you know, like is it that it's a depth of field issue, or is it more that more that there's movement there? So, you know, this is a very close-up shot of these butterflies, and yeah, look, I think the depth of field, sorry, can't get my words, depth of field could be improved, but I don't think that's enough to keep it out of a good silver. So I'd ask you guys to come up with me.
Thank you, and we'll rescore, please, judges. And we have 76. It's gone up 1 point, so it is a solid bronze at 76. Congratulations to the photographer. And can we have the next image, please? The title of this is Red-Headed Iguana. Red-Headed Iguana, Costa Rica. Accidentally stood in a pile of fire ants while taking this photo. Ouch. And we have a score of 70. And I'm just going to... Are you wanting to comment, David, or are you wanting to...
No. I want to challenge. I want to have a quick talk about it.
Yep,
We can.
no problem.
Okay? I'm at 76, bronze award here. What I appreciated was the restraint that the photographer has presented us here with. There's this real sort of voyeuristic sort of peer through the canopy that is framed by this branch that comes under the bottom, which initially bothered me a little bit as to distracting me, but it was then echoed by the branch at the top. Then I feel that the whole palette is quite sympathetic to the environment. This is not a well lit, well sort of spotlit image. It's tramping through the jungle here, you know. And then you feel there is just that little highlight that's caught on both the nose and the jowl of the lizard here. And so I think that brings enough attention to it. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to bump us up here a few marks into the bronze category, because I feel there's some good documentary, you know, of both animal and of environment. We can't hear you, Kay.
My apologies. We're going to go to Judy, who probably didn't quite see what David saw in the image. She's sitting on 63.
Yeah, I get what you're saying about the lizard sort of living in the canopy of the forest. I don't mind the highlights and everything so much on the left-hand side of the image. I do just find the right-hand side more distracting, and I just feel we're just seeing a little bit too much forest and too little of the lizard for my liking. That's why I scored so low.
Okay, we got any other one wanting to comment? We will go back to David. To reply.
Yep, no, thank you, Kay. Judy, I justified the right-hand side of the image, giving it balance. If I cropped that right-hand side out, I found the image too heavy. And as it's sort of, this is a big jungle, finding this lizard in amongst it kind of thing, gives us that expanse sometimes that we sort of seek to give us that context of environment. I'm asking you guys just to sort of consider a bronze here, you know, for palette, for tone, for comment on nature and environment.
Thank you. So it's currently on 70. Judges rescore, please. And it's moved it a couple of points, which could help. You never know. So we are sitting on 72. Well done. And that is the end of the category. So just a little bit for the audience benefit, with the entries that have come through, all entries are judged through a preliminary round, and certain X number of entries per entrant have come through to the live judging. So all entrants have entries in the live judging, but because of the numbers of judges and the nature of online conferencing, it's not possible to have all entries come through to the live round. But all entrants will receive scores for their preliminary round entries that haven't made it through to the live judging, I should say. Okay, so that is the end of the category. We do have to thank our sponsor, Epson, and we will do one more round with their wonderful advertisement for their new printer that they have out. But I first off want to thank the judges. You guys have been amazing. It has gone over time a little bit, probably more than a little bit, and you have done well. And I think the entrants have received some wonderful feedback throughout this session, and hopefully that they can work on their images and see what they can't do to improve them. And I want to thank the team sitting out the back across New Zealand, working behind the back, and thank you very much. And we have first up tomorrow morning, we have at 10 o'clock we have the commercial category, and join us again tomorrow for some more wonderful judging. So once again, thank you very much, judges. Your thoughts and is very much appreciated.
You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
Kay. Thanks,
so
everyone.
So final goodbye to Epson. Thank you very much, Epson, for sponsoring the nature category.
Okay.
Good night, all.
Good night. Good night.
Night.